What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and in this video, I'm going to be continuing my Overpower Level 8 Sniper Zer0 playthrough. The last episode concluded with us killing Badmaw in order to gain access to the Bloodshot Stronghold in an attempt to save Roland. So that's what we're doing now. I'll give you a quick look at my gear and skill build before we get started. This particular map is usually quite enjoyable because, I find it to be enjoyable because some of the enemies and stuff are fun to work through, with a variety of playstyles, and the enemies are relatively quickly paced and plentiful, and so it can be quite entertaining. I'm actually kind of excited to get through this, though, because after this, we go to the Bloodshot Dam area, and I've never really been to that before with Sniper Zer0, so I think that it might end up being kind of fun. We'll see what happens. Go ahead and kill this dude right quick. Looks like his shotgun was dealing a lot of damage to us, so we'll go ahead and get a little bit of slag and healing from him. Cool. And so we're gathering some critical ascension stacks now, which will make killing the rest of the enemies in this room a little bit easier. Got a double kill there. That was kind of cool. That guy was taking poor cover, so that worked out as well. Looks like the ceiling is a little bit too low for that guy's axe to come all the way through, so that actually works out well for us. Back up here and kill this bone crusher. Hopefully these transfusion trails will come to us before this marauder gets a good shot. His backpedal is in full effect, but we're doing okay. Should be one more enemy here. Sometimes those bone crushers have a significant amount of health and deal a significant amount of damage. However, even though on average they're probably a little bit more dangerous than your average marauder, I would say that they are less dangerous than the most dangerous marauders that actually spawn with these damage over time weapons. We were seeing one with a shock weapon out there a minute ago, and those guys are awfully aggravating and probably the most dangerous enemies you'll face. I think that that guy's actually the one with the shock damage over time gun, so I'm going to prioritize him a little bit. Got a couple lunatics, it looks like. They're pretty easy to kill. They'll bring their head right to you, so that works out pretty well most of the time. It's not necessary to kill every enemy in this room, and after I killed this guy, I'm probably going to be moving forward, unless there's a little midget running at me here. No, I hear a midget, but he wasn't running at me. I just don't want to waste all my critical ascension stacks chasing those dudes around, so we're just going to bring a few of those that I have acquired over here to these guys. Usually an enemy spawns right out of this door here. We'll kill him. Nice. So some of the dialogue is interesting right here. This is where we first get introduced to Jack's, hero complex that he has, where he thinks he's the one that is the quote-unquote good guy and stuff. We'll go ahead and get slag on this particular nomad so that we can try to get a critical hit on him. It didn't work out for us, though. I find these guys to be especially irritating when they won't move their shield at all, because they'll waste your critical ascension stacks a little bit. I played that poorly and I wasted my deception shot, so that was my fault, but those guys only make it more irritating. As a sniper, at least. Getting some critical hits there on that guy. Looks like we killed him. Some of the terrain in this area is especially aggravating and can be hard to, run over and stuff. And because of that, you'll find yourself getting stuck on certain textures and whatnot because the texture mapping is pretty pitiful. And that can also be one of the more irritating parts about this map. There's one of the spots where it is really bad. And over here, all along this ring, actually, around this area is pretty poorly texture mapped, and it's just bad news all the way around. Looks like we got another sweet shielded marauder, so as he has his shield moved there, we're gonna go ahead and kill him. We do have to be a little bit careful though as we kill the dudes in this area, because as we do that, Mad Mike is going to spawn, and he is always going to spawn with a rocket launcher, and so you really have to watch out for this guy. Somehow we didn't manage to get a critical hit on him until just now, and so that was bad news. But we killed him, and that worked out. So we'll continue. Got a little bit scared there that I was going to die to Mad Mike, but ended up working out just fine for us. Nice. So we killed one of those ironclads. Kind of rare to get 3 ironclads in a row like this, but not a big deal. They're actually pretty easy, especially compared to these guys here, which you know, require some flanking and stuff. Got a couple more Marauders here. Luckily, neither of them have a damage over time weapon, and so that's good. Alright, so we should be able to pick up some good ammo from those guys, and we were, and that worked out for us. A couple ammo boxes here that we should go ahead and collect from. Now we're doing plenty well on ammo, but we do need to get to an enemy pretty quickly in order to preserve our critical ascension stacks. And that worked out. Now there is a corrosive damage over time enemy here, and we need to kill him real quickly, not only to make sure that he doesn't apply another corrosive damage over time to us, but also to keep our Grim bonus going so that that doesn't deplete our shield and end up killing us, because that would be bad news. Alright. Got a shielded dude here. Looks like I had a chance to hit him in the critical, but I missed it. We'll see if throwing a grenade is going to encourage him to show us his head. It didn't, but then my decoy actually did, so that worked out. I like that he also sent these dudes charging at us before he died. I think that was actually when he was removing his shield, so that, or moving his shield, so that worked out really well. Got those transfusions coming, and so that was good stuff. Looks like there's one more dude here. It's another nomad though, so we're gonna need to flank him, get critical hit on him. Wow, this guy is irritating the living hell out of me. His backpedal mechanics are making it hard for us to hit that critical hit, and it doesn't look like I hit it at all there, so that was super aggravating, but there are no more enemies to kill except for these 3, so we're going to be just fine. Still have plenty of critical ascension stacks and ammo to take out those guys, obviously. Nice. And so now we're going to get to a scene here with Roland, and this will actually have depleted all of our critical ascension stacks anyway, so it's not a big deal that I lost a few there on that nomad. It was just irritating. He was in a bad spot there with that stupid staircase he had, and I don't know. I won't let it bother me. I do think Roland's attire here is pretty cool. I like his camo pants and stuff. I grew up in Oklahoma and Montana, and a lot of people would wear camo stuff all the time, you know, because they were hunters by trade, a lot of them. And, like, I did hunting and stuff, but I never really found it necessary to wear camo pants or camo anything while you weren't hunting, and that made me a little bit of an outlier among some of my redneck friends and stuff. But now I actually kind of do like camo shorts, especially, and camo pants to some extent, so that's pretty cool. I guess we'll go ahead and equip our corrosive Lyuda now, because we're going to need it to deal with some of the loaders that are actually going to be on the other side of this. I've never really fought through this next part with Sniper Zer0, so I'm kind of excited, and because there will be quite a few loaders and stuff in this area that we're about to go to, it should be pretty neat, especially since we get to a staged fight with that warden eventually as well. Ooh, you can get a critical hit off that dude? That's cool. But yeah, so these loaders are going to be, you know, really easy to get critical hits on and stuff, and so it should be kind of fun to do that. Looks like one of these dudes doesn't want to jump down at all for us. Try to hit his critical hit, but he wasn't having it, so that was bad news. If those angel loaders or angel guards, whatever they're called, eventually do want to come down, we'll kill them. Angelic guards is what they're called. But right now they aren't participating in our shenanigans, so we'll leave them be for just a moment at least. Oh, I think I also forgot to put on my Corrosive Bone of the Ancients, so I will do that before we progress too much further in the next map. There are obviously human enemies in the next map and stuff, but there are more loaders than there are human enemies, so it would be more prudent to use a... Ooh, that guy has a shock damage over time weapon, so we'll try to kill him right quick. Those angel loaders are a lot more difficult to kill than other loaders because they only have one critical hit spot as opposed to many, and because of that they're, you know, more difficult, and then obviously they spawn with better guns and more guns actually than your average gun loader as well. So hopefully I remember to put on my Corrosive Bone of the Ancients here after this cutscene. This is actually a really beautiful map, and it's kind of a shame that there's not a fast travel to this map because it'd be nice to come back to it occasionally, but the fact that you have to go all the way through the Bloodshot Stronghold to get to it is a little bit of a deterrent. So it looks like, you know, they show here that some of the bandits are just so scared of these loaders that they just straight run away. That's kind of interesting, you know, because they have been, you know, portrayed as kind of fearless and psychotic up until this point, and for them to actually be so scared of these guys that they would just, you know, turn tail and run is a little bit strange. They start really hyping up the Wilhelm fight in this situation as well. Obviously the Wilhelm fight, you know, really isn't that tough, and you know, I think that's probably a good thing because it's still early in the game when you might not have a developed strategy or loot especially, or obviously, you know, very few skills as of yet, and it's probably a good thing that they don't have that fight be incredibly tough, but it did disappoint me the first time I got to it and stuff. This guy thinks he's, you know, free and clean because the loaders are gone, but I'm actually going to go ahead and kill him just because. Same with this guy, I guess. The loaders are going to make it especially easy for us to get critical hits and stuff, and so that's pretty nice. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a critical hit off that dude because he wasn't an actual enemy. That one was, though, and so is this one here. And that one as well. So I think it's pretty cool that they really, you know, flood the loaders here. They don't make you fight through these guys or anything, but I'm kind of enjoying it right now because it's so easy to get these critical hits on these guys at the moment that I am enjoying it. It's the first time I've ever played through this little quest with Sniper0. I've never done a Sniper0 playthrough before, so it's interesting to me right now that the critical hits, you know, come so easy and stuff. This is one of the situations where, one of the first situations, I think, where they have two different factions of enemies fighting each other. And I know that that's something that Gearbox has said that they were actually proud of in the game, and they think makes you feel like you're part of a bigger fight and stuff. And I would agree with that. I think that that's pretty neat. Oh, this is another one of those loaders that doesn't actually exist. I'm kind of happy that there aren't too many of those situations in the game, actually, because those are actually kind of irritating to me. I wasted ammo on those loaders that, you know, can't actually be damaged or get critical hits on the ones that are just kind of set pieces. And it seems like that's something that they didn't do later in the game, at least not that I can recall any instances of. And I actually like that quite a bit because it's pretty stupid to me that I couldn't shoot that guy until he was ready to be shot and stuff. I don't like that at all. So I think we see our first badass loader here in just a moment, and Roland really calls him out here so that you know he's coming. And this is just meant to be an introduction to the badass loaders, I'd imagine. But obviously at this point we have so much critical ascension that, you know, we should really be fine on that. Unfortunately, the surveyors are out in force right now, and that's kind of a shame. I think I'm using the fire one. Go ahead and switch to the corrosive one real quick. Maybe I'll kill that little surveyor as we go as well. It may be necessary to kill a few of these surveyors by, damn it, a damage over time enemy, by, you know, minutely damaging one of these loaders and then having the surveyors come to him and stuff, because I don't want to deal with them when we're actually in the warden fight, because that might be aggravating. There's a chest right here. I'm going to pop it just so we have plenty of ammo as we move forward. Took some damage there, so going to go ahead and get myself in a spot where I'm not going to take any more damage and get some transfusion trails coming to me as well. Excellent. Killed one of the surveyors there when they glitched out on me, so that was always good. Here's what I'm talking about with those surveyors being a little bit irritating. Not a huge deal, but you know, not something that is great either to just catch damage over time from those dudes. Looks like we got some more damage over time gun loaders back here, so that's bad. Killed this guy while he is stuck. Same with that guy. Same with this guy, I guess. Cool. So now we should have plenty of those surveyors killed. It looks like we got one more back there, and we have plenty of critical ascension and also a plentiful amount of ammo as we move forward here. Sounds like there's a gun loader nearby, but I don't see him, so I'm just going to rush into the warden. I will leave that one surveyor active. He shouldn't be a problem for us. So now we have 55 stacks of critical ascension. It should be kind of funny to actually fight through these loaders with Roland here, because they will die so quickly. I do need to get slag on and kill this stupid surveyor, though. Excellent. So now that we've killed that surveyor, we shouldn't really have any problems with the rest of these guys. Roland's probably pretty impressed right now that the coolest and also, you know, most enjoyable to fight alongside Vault Hunter came to his rescue. We'll go ahead and kill the badass there. And I think this gun loader is the last one. Could be wrong on that. Yeah, so that was the last one. We got up to 62 stacks of critical ascension there, which is a little bit ridiculous. Unfortunately, talking to Roland takes them all away here, but that's not a big deal. We'll go meet him back at Sanctuary, and then he will send us to the Tundra Express, at which point we will meet up eventually with Mordecai. But I think this episode is actually going to end as we get to the Tundra Express. So I'm going to try to do a cool grenade jump here. It's been a while since I've done grenade jumps, and my grenade jumps are a little bit off, but basically, if you're trying to speedrun the game, one thing you can do is grenade jump up to this little ledge, and then that will get you to Roland a lot quicker. And so that actually worked out for me there. And then you don't have to wait for him to finish talking or anything. You can just get on your way to the Tundra Express. And if it's not active on our thing, we'll go to the Three Horns Valley, or excuse me, we should have gone to the Three Horns Divide. And now I really messed up because this isn't going to be active, is it? Oh, it says it didn't have power, but it worked out for us. So that was good. My mistake there. We needed to go to the Three Horns Divide and then get this vehicle, and then we'll be able to travel over towards the Tundra Express. And so this is how you get there, and this is where the next episode is actually going to pick up. As always, guys, I thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet taken the time to subscribe, please do so. I'd appreciate that as well. Otherwise, like I said, I do hope to catch you next time. And the next episode will have us going through all of the Tundra Express and probably killing Wilhelm. One more time, guys, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.